I'm Ryan Lamena, and today I'm going to be observing some of my accomplishments and the points where I have grown throughout this semester. First up is the reader response theory. Pictured here are two different reader responses from this semester. The one on the left is from the beginning of this semester when we conducted a reader response on the things they carried, and the one on the right is from just a few weeks ago when we did this again on the kite runner. I used the last questions that were asked on both of the documents because I thought that these were good examples to help show the growth made. In the reader response on the things they carried, I gave very bland and straightforward answers to the questions asked. However, after seeing the comments Professor Hume made for me constructively critiquing my work, I was able to provide a more in-depth response with multiple quotes from the novel. Up next is the critical response approach. Once again, I used examples from the critical response on both the things they carried and the kite runner. I used the examples from visual imagery and characterization from both of the documents, since once again I believe that is where the most growth was shown. On the left is the critical analysis examples from the things they carried, which can show the little understanding that I had on what I was supposed to do. As you can see, I used quotes that showed imagery and characterization in the things they carried, but I was not able to provide a sensational explanation as to why the quotes I chose were fit for the device. Moving to the kite runner, I was able to understand the book more clearly, which helped me create better explanations to the quotes that I used. You will find the kite runner used as an example multiple times throughout this presentation, as I found the book interesting and got a lot out of it academically. I was looking forward to doing a critical analysis on it because of how good the book was, and I believe I did a lot better of a job on this one than the things I carried. Up next are the different reading strategies that I used throughout this semester to help enhance my understanding of what I was reading. In the beginning of the year, we were asked to come up with these strategies, and the two I came up with were underlining imagery and looking up words I did not understand. The picture on the right shows examples of the underlining imagery I used in the short story, Dispatches, that we read around the middle of the semester. I am personally a visual learner, so I like to turn words into pictures in my mind, and when I do that, I tend to understand what I am reading more. So this was an extremely effective way for me to improve my reading skills and helped make most of the books, novels, and short stories we read throughout the semester more meaningful. The picture on the bottom left is a critical analysis document. The last box we had to fill out was always 3 words we did not understand, and then we had to look them up and put them into a sentence. I find this is a productive way to improve my vocabulary rather than reading the words and just trying to imagine what they mean. Now, I have examples from the digital tools that we used. On the left are digital song annotations that we had to conduct. Professor Hume gave us the freedom of choosing a song that we enjoyed and had us do annotations on the literary devices that were used throughout the song. I chose to do one of my favorite songs by my favorite artist, Zach Bryan's Burn, Burn, Burn. I enjoyed this assignment very much as I was able to have fun listening to the song over and over, gaining a deeper understanding on the lyrics used and what they meant. I'll talk more about this on the next slide, but this has helped me grow a deeper understanding on the music I listen to today, as I am able to listen to the lyrics and identify the devices like mood, imagery, and theme. On the right is a blog post from the digital websites we had to create for our book groups. Again, I will talk more about the book later in the presentation, but I chose the theme post as I believed it was one of the easier ones to do since I was struggling with this novel. I found the blog post as an effective way to get to know your classmates' feelings on what was going on in the pages you were reading. Now I'm going to talk about the connections I have made from this class to others. The 2 classes I was able to use the things we have learned most in were First Year Writing Seminar and Foundation of Catholic Ethics. Before most classes for first year writing, we had to read passages from different websites as an introduction to the next paper we were writing. While reading these passages, I was able to use the reading strategies that I talked about earlier to help grow deeper understanding of the articles, which helped increase my participation in class. In Foundation of Catholic Ethics, I was able to use the visual imagery again when reading stories from the Bible and conducting research for a project we had to do. And, like I said last slide, lessons have affected my outside life too, with listening to music, as I am now able to grow understandings on the songs that I was not able to grasp before. This has made listening to music more enjoyable and fun, as I am able to explain to my friends what the songs mean, growing their understanding as well. Now, there were many challenges I faced throughout the semester, but the one that I want to highlight is reading the book group novel. I had to read All the Light We Cannot See, and I'm personally not much of a reader, so it takes a lot for a book to grab my attention and hold it throughout. This book grew confusion as the chapters were quick. They were 2 to 5 pages each, and it became too much to understand and hold on to. There were times when the novel became straight up boring to me, and I struggled reading the required pages we had to before the group meetings. However, I was able to overcome this challenge as I wanted to be able to have a true discussion with my classmates about the pages we have read. This need for knowledge helped me read the past pages and try my best to understand. It is a good thing that I was with a group of people for this, as I knew I was able to ask questions when needed, and that if they knew the answer, they would help me out. I also listened to an audiobook, so I was able to hear the attitude of the person reading the book, which helped demonstrate the mood for the pages that were read. Now, as I just said, it takes a lot for me to enjoy reading a book. However, reading The Kite Runner is by far my most enjoyable moment in this semester, as I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It grabbed my attention from the very beginning, helping me gain opinions on the characters introduced and keeping me interested on where their life would take them. There were many conflicts in this story, and it was easy and exciting to understand. I was able to participate in the group discussions had in class, which again helped me grow an even deeper understanding than I already had. I also enjoyed the character development with Amir and his path to redemption from the past mistakes he has made in his life. This book had a lot of visual imagery, which helped me paint an in-depth picture in my mind of what was going on. I would recommend this book to anyone, as it is by far one of the best books that I've ever read. Now, last but most certainly not least is my aha moment. I chose to put the ekphrastic poem I wrote in the middle of the semester. The reason I chose it was because in the beginning I was struggling heavily with it. I was not able to come up with a first line or even a title. I stared at this picture that we were assigned for a long time and finally was able to come up with the title, Running Towards Death. Then, after that, the writing was smooth sailing. I enjoyed writing this poem, and when I was done, I asked so many people what they thought of it. I called my parents, asked my roommate, and my friends to read it. All of them were shocked on how well written it was and said I did an amazing job. This made me feel really good about myself, but I had to present it the next day in class. And I cannot lie, when I was called up, I was very nervous, but after reading a few of the lines with the devices I had used, Professor Hume complimented my work and said I did a great job with the poem and that I may have a secret talent in poetry. Can't lie, I laughed when she said that, but the small compliment has stuck with me throughout this semester and gave me the confidence in my writing abilities, and that is why this poem is my aha moment. Now, these are my references that I used, and I just want to say a quick thank you to Professor Hume and Professor Giartano for a great semester and for everything that you guys have taught me. Thank you for listening. Bye.